For thousands of years, the indigenous peoples of this land lived in harmony and were as one with Mother Nature. Then the ships came and the black robes. In the late 1800s, the United States government outlawed the practice of Native American ceremonies. And they forced us into religious boarding schools where English and church attendance were mandatory, and speaking our own language was prohibited. It unleashed on our entire nation a century of violent abuse and sexual predation. In 2008, we of the Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota nations filed a class action lawsuit against the Catholic Church for the sexual, physical, and mental abuse by nuns and priests. And only 2 years later, the state of South Dakota passed a discriminatory and unconstitutional law preventing Native American people over the age of 40 from filing lawsuits against the Catholic Church.
Sister John Richards told us that they were there to educate us and civilize us, that we were heathens and pagans, the devil's spawn.
We didn't know that. You know, the nuns that really portrayed themselves to be helpful and loving and kind and all this in front of the parents, we didn't know that they had a dark side.
They have this big, thick leather strap, and they'd whip us.
My study of the history after coming here, they didn't get their ass kicked.
I mean, there was no way for them to fight back. How could they? They were just little kids.
But they were really taken care of and treated well.
That nun picked up a branch, she said, like big as a bat, and she hit that little boy in the head, and he fell in the water and he drowned.
To the representatives who dared pass this legislation were just as guilty as the priests and nuns who committed these crimes.
The acts that were committed upon these young children, male and female, by priests, by brothers, by nuns, by sisters, are truly unspeakable.
For the court system to retroactively apply a law is a joke. These people need their justice.
Priests and nuns came to our home and told my mother and dad that if they loved us kids, that they wouldn't let us run around in our buckskins, and they wouldn't let us to speak our language. If you want to help your children and if you love them, then you won't let them speak their own language.
It was a big major policy that they're following through with, and that was to kill the Indian and save the man. And I didn't know that until later on. I first read that little thing, kill the Indian and save the man, when I was in high school. I was actually a senior in high school when I started reading it. So what is this? So Captain Richard Pratt, he had this policy, this idea to take the Indian out of his environment, place him in a different environment, and he'd begin to kind of learn that lifestyle, that thought process, and change his ways, you know, what they thought was civilized, you know, to become civilized.
People are hungry for a spirit. That we, us older people, are very concerned, you know, about waking people up and what they can do for where they live, you know. And people apologizing about they haven't done anything, and I said, well, it's never too late to save the world.
To kill the Indian, to save the man in me, you know. The man is here, but so is the Indian. I'm still here. They did not and will not kill the Indian in me, ever.